If you know anything about American Sign Language, you know that it's the communication method and language of deaf Americans. But there are actually some pretty cool things about it that you probably didn't even think about, let alone know. It's a lot more than just hand gestures, and there's a higher ed institute named for the language's founder. That's what we're going to learn all about in today's video, 5 crucial facts about American Sign Language. But first, I want to encourage you to check out more of my content once you're done. From there, click subscribe, then click on the bell to turn it black so you get a notification whenever I post new content here at the Autistic Advocate. First, we're going to learn that ASL is considered a foreign language distinctive from English. ASL technically translates English words into hand gestures, but it's not the same thing as the English language. In fact, American Sign Language is not the first sign language in the world, but actually comes from French Sign Language. ASL has a unique system of vocabulary, grammar, word order, and style that is very different from what you see in the English language. ASL could actually be considered the closest thing we have to an original American language. For our next fact, we're going to dive into some of the origins of ASL. It all started in 1814 when Thomas Hopkins Gallaudet became a tutor to a 9-year-old deaf girl named Alice Cogswell through hand gestures and through writing words in the dirt with a stick. When his methods proved effective, he traveled to Europe to teach them to people who worked with the deaf. After spending some time with Laurent Clerc, an instructor of French Sign Language, Gallaudet went home and founded the American School for the Deaf. Children from across the country came to the school and brought home signs when they did. While the teachers used French Sign Language, many deaf children from Martha's Vineyard ended up enrolling, bringing signs from MVSL. Other deaf students used their own home sign systems. All these elements came together to form what would become ASL, with a dash of some elements of Great Plains Native American Sign Language. Fact number 3. Children who are born deaf learn ASL as their first language. All children learn a first language at some point. Hearing children born in America start learning English from the time they're babies by hearing other people speak it. Same goes for children growing up with other languages in other countries. But what happens when the baby can't hear? Through interactions with people around them, deaf babies explore the hand shapes and movements that make up signs by babbling with their hands. As deaf children get older, they transition from using simple hand gestures to more complex ones. Next, we're going to learn about the role of facial expression in American Sign Language. Sign language isn't just hand gestures. You know how with spoken language, the tone of voice gives a certain meaning to the words being said? Well, in sign language, facial expressions do the job of the tone of voice. It's actually a pretty complex system too. While signing, the signer makes a face that conveys their emotions or the emotions of whoever they're quoting. When a signer is asking a question, they usually raise one or both eyebrows. And said eyebrows raise even higher when asking a surprise general question as opposed to a neutral question. Simply put, even though the deaf communicate differently, you can tell pretty easily not just what they're communicating, but how they feel about it. It's a two-way street with whoever they're signing with. Fact number 5 is that the university named after the language's founder provides most of its courses in sign language. Remember Thomas Gallaudet, the inventor of ASL who I talked about in fact number 2? Well, there's actually a university in his honor, Gallaudet University in Washington, D.C. This institution was founded in 1864 to provide higher education for the deaf and hard of hearing. Fittingly, the classes at Gallaudet are all taught in ASL, though there's usually an English interpreter for those students who aren't able to hear and don't speak ASL. What was the most interesting thing you learned today about ASL? Let me know in the comments below, and tap the like button so I know that you did, in fact, learn something. If this was your first time here and you liked this video, check out more of my content on my channel page to see if you might want to get some more by subscribing. Because trust me, you do. Specifically, check out some of the content up on your screen until I have a new insightful video up on politics, society, or culture.